AdSense Arbitrage is the art of buying low-cost traffic and monetizing it at a higher rate through Google AdSense. In simple terms, you pay for visitors, e.g. via ads or Popunders, and earn more from the ads those visitors see and click on your site. The profit is the difference between what you spend and what you earn. This comprehensive step-by-step guide will show you how to build a profitable AdSense arbitrage business from scratch using Popunder traffic, potentially scaling from $0 up to $1,000 per day. We'll cover everything: choosing a niche, setting up your website, driving traffic with Popunder networks like PopAds/Propeller ads, optimizing for high revenue, RPM, keeping visitors engaged, low bounce, high session time, avoiding AdSense policy violations, and scaling for the long term. All recommendations here are compliant, realistic, and backed by logic and examples. Let's dive in with a tone of authority and trust, suitable for beginners yet filled with advanced tips for experienced marketers. Realistic goal setting: earning $1,000 per day from AdSense arbitrage won't happen overnight. It requires strategic planning, testing, and reinvestment. Many publishers start with small profits and scale up. For instance, some arbitrageurs begin earning a few dollars a day, then reinvest to drive more traffic. Over time, it's possible to ramp up to hundreds of dollars per day, and with consistent optimization, even reach the coveted $1,000 per day mark. Throughout this guide, we'll use examples and case studies to illustrate how these results can be achieved. Step 1. Choose a profitable niche. Why niche selection matters. Your niche determines the content you'll create and the type of ads that will show on your site. Some niches have much higher ad payouts, CPCs and RPMs, than others, directly impacting your earnings. Additionally, certain niches lend themselves to viral content, which is ideal when using broad Popunder traffic. High CPC versus viral appeal. Find a balance. There are two general approaches to arbitrage niches. High CPC niches. These include topics like finance, real estate, insurance, health, and technology, where advertisers pay more per click. For example, finance/investing keywords might have an average CPC of $5, meaning each ad click can earn you a lot. The challenge is that content in these niches may not go viral easily and traffic might be more expensive. Viral/trending niches. These include entertainment, celebrity news, lifestyle tips, travel stories, weird facts, or memes. Content here can attract massive traffic because it appeals to broad audiences and encourages sharing. As one expert arbitrager suggests, use viral or news captivating content, something that has the power to go viral. The downside is these often have lower CPC ads, e.g. general news might only get 10 to 20 cents per click, so you rely on volume. Recommended strategy. Combine both elements. Pick a niche or content strategy that can generate high RPM, revenue per thousand views, and achieve volume. For instance, a health or fitness site can target high-value keywords, like fitness equipment or diet plans, but present them in a viral format, 10 surprising health tricks. A tech/gadget site can share trending gadget news or top 10 lists, attracting broad interest while tech ads pay well. Research and validation. Use keyword tools, Google Keyword Planner, SEMrush, or Refs, to find topics in your niche with high advertiser bids. Also look at popular content sites or competitors in your niche. What kind of articles get a lot of clicks? Ensure there's an audience that Popunder traffic would appeal to. Example: a travel blog focusing on budget travel hacks might monetize decently, but a site about luxury insurance policies might have high ad value yet struggle to engage Popunder visitors. Aim for a niche where you can create engaging content with reasonable ad payouts. Real-life examples of good niches. According to industry guides, proven AdSense niches include real estate, health and fitness, travel, automotive, finance, and technology because they combine strong advertiser demand with wide audience appeal. For instance, a travel site can draw casual readers, easy to get traffic, and also show ads for hotels or airlines, which pay decently per click. Choose a niche you can produce content for consistently, and that isn't overly saturated by very large publishers. Step 2. Domain and hosting setup. With your niche chosen, it's time to establish your web presence. Choose a good domain name. Pick a short, memorable domain that reflects your niche or content theme. It should sound legit and trustworthy. Avoid anything spammy. For example, if your niche is tech gadgets, a name like TechTrendsDaily.com is better than CheapCoolGadgets.biz. A .com is ideal for credibility. Ensure the name is easy to spell and not infringing on trademarks. Tip: including a niche keyword, e.g., health, travel, can hint at your content, but don't overdo it. The key is to appear as a real content site, not a made-for-ad site. Get reliable hosting. Choose a hosting provider that offers fast load times and good uptime. Speed is crucial. Popunder visitors are often impatient. If your site lags, they'll close it, increasing your bounce rate. A good shared hosting plan may suffice initially, but ensure it's optimized, or consider managed WordPress hosting if using WordPress. Look for hosts that provide SSL certificates. Your site must be HTTPS, and possibly a built-in CDN. Some arbitrageurs use Cloudflare or other CDNs to speed up global delivery. Site platform and design. For ease, many use WordPress as the CMS. It's beginner-friendly and has many themes/plugins. Install a clean, responsive theme that looks professional. Your site design should load fast and navigate easily, especially on mobile, since a large portion of paid traffic may be mobile. Avoid heavy, bloated themes. Simplicity and speed are more important than flashy design here. Essential pages. Create basic pages like about, contact, privacy policy, and terms of service early on. AdSense often checks for these during approval as a sign of legitimacy. They also help build trust with users. Additionally, a clear navigation menu for your content categories will help users explore once they land on your site. Hosting Setup Checklist. After buying your domain and hosting, set up your site's CMS, install an SSL, and configure caching/performance plugins. If on WordPress, a plugin like WP Rocket or W3 Total Cache can help speed. Test your site's speed. Using Google Page Speed Insights or Jeep Metrics, aim for minimal load time. A fast, stable site forms the foundation for everything that follows, enabling you to maximize the value of every visitor you pay for. Step 3. Design a high-quality site layout and content strategy. Even though we're buying traffic, content is still king for AdSense Arbitrage. Google will evaluate your site's content quality, and users who arrive via Popunders need a reason to stay and engage. Here's how to set up your site layout and content plan. Publish quality content before monetizing. Don't rush to plaster ads on an empty site. Stock your site with a base of high-quality articles first. A common recommendation is to have around 20 to 30 good posts published before applying for AdSense. Each article should be original, at least 500 plus words, and genuinely useful or entertaining. Avoid thin content. Made for AdSense, MFA, sites with auto-generated or scraped text are easily spotted and can get your account suspended. Instead, commit to providing value or interesting information in your niche. High-quality content not only helps get AdSense approval but also keeps visitors on your site longer. Engaging layout. Design article pages to be engaging and easy to read. Use clear headings, subheadings, and images to break up text. Remember, Popunder traffic often comes in cold. Large blocks of text will turn them off. Keep paragraphs short, 3 to 5 sentences, and use bullet points or numbered lists for clarity, just like this guide. An appealing feature image at the top of each article can grab attention immediately. User-friendly site navigation. Place a menu or content categories prominently, like a top menu or sidebar. Include sections like trending posts or latest articles to entice visitors to click to another page. Related post suggestions at the bottom of articles, or even mid-article for long posts, can help reduce bounce rate by offering something else interesting to read. The goal is to make it easy for a visitor to find more content that catches their eye so they don't just exit. Ad placement versus content balance. While we'll dive deeper into ad optimization later, start thinking about layout. You want a good mix of content and ads without overwhelming the user. Google used to limit sites to 3 ads per page. Now it's more flexible, but don't overdo it. A page that's mostly ads and little content is a red flag. Google's algorithms might show blank spaces if the ad-to-content ratio is too high. Aim for a layout where ads naturally blend without disrupting the reading. A common approach: 1 ad near the top, but below the title or first paragraph, 1 in the middle, and 1 at the end or sidebar. That gives 3 ad units well spaced in a long article, for example. We'll refine this later, but plan your theme to accommodate such spots. Mobile optimization. Ensure your site is mobile responsive. Popunder traffic can be both desktop and mobile, and many sources report a majority of paid traffic, like from Facebook or native ads, is mobile. Check that your fonts are readable on a phone, images scale correctly, and that ads don't break the layout on small screens. A good user experience on mobile will keep visitors from instantly bouncing. Content strategy going forward. Plan to publish new content regularly. Not only does this help if you pursue any organic traffic later, but it gives you fresh material to use as landing pages for your arbitrage campaigns. People get ad blind if they see the same story repeatedly. Mix up content types, how TOS, listicles, top 10x, news updates, humorous pieces, etc. as fits your niche. Content that sparks curiosity or emotion tends to perform well with cold traffic. Examples: if in a health niche, an article like 5 foods you didn't know could lower blood pressure is intriguing. In a tech niche, this new smartphone trick is saving people hundreds of dollars and invites curiosity. Think like a viral marketer, but ensure the content delivers on its promise when they click. More on that soon. By laying out a content-rich, user-friendly site, you set the stage so that when visitors start pouring in, they'll find real value and be more likely to stick around. Google favors arbitrage sites that feel like genuine websites, not just landing pages full of ads. Build that credibility from day one. Step 4. Get Google AdSense approval. If you haven't already, to monetize with AdSense, you need an approved AdSense account and ad code on your site. If you're brand new, follow these tips to get approved smoothly. Meet basic requirements. Ensure your site has all the content and pages mentioned above, about, contact, etc., is at least a few weeks old, and has no policy violations, no adult content, no copyrighted material, etc. Google wants to see that your site provides a good user experience and has unique content. Apply for AdSense, sign up at the AdSense website, and submit your domain for review. Place the provided ad code snippet on your site as instructed. Then be patient. The review can take days or a couple of weeks. During this time, do not drive any paid traffic. Let AdSense reviewers find your site organically. They will check content quality, site navigation, and compliance. While waiting, continue adding a few quality articles and polish any site issues, like fixing broken links or improving page speed. Show Google that the site is actively maintained. If you have any initial organic traffic, even a trickle, that's fine too, as it demonstrates user interest. Approval success. Once approved, you'll get an email and you'll start seeing ads appear in the placements where you put the code. Congrats, now the real work begins. If you get rejected, read the reason given, common issues, insufficient content, or navigation issues. Address them, e.g., add more content or fix mobile usability, then reapply. Avoid shortcuts. Do not try to use someone else's AdSense account or any AdSense approval services that promise quick approval for a fee. Use your own account tied to your identity, since you want a long-term business. Google's policies are strict on having one account per person/business. Now that you have AdSense ready, you can plan out where to place ads on your site, though you might hold off enabling them until you start traffic. To measure performance, more on that later. Your foundation, niche, site, and AdSense is set. Next, we'll bring in the traffic. Step 5. Select Popunder ad networks and set up campaigns. Traffic arbitrage lives or dies by the cost and quality of your traffic. Here we focus on Popunder traffic, those ads that open your site in a new tab or window behind or in front of a user's current browser window. Pop traffic can be extremely cheap and high volume, making it tempting for arbitrage. However, it's also known for variable quality, so choosing the right network and settings is key. Top Popunder networks. 2 of the most popular are Pop Ads and Propeller Ads, as the user query suggests. But there are others like PopCache, AdsTerra, Popunder Traffic, Dynamo, Pop, etc. These are considered third-tier traffic sources that can be extremely good for ROI if used right. Pop Ads, a specialized Popunder network. It offers granular controls. You can set your bid per view, target specific countries, devices, even frequency capping. Pop Ads is known for having massive global inventory and very low minimum bids. You can get traffic for fractions of a cent per view in many geos. On the flip side, Pop Ads traffic can include a lot of bot or junk traffic if not filtered. The network itself tries to filter invalid traffic, but as an arbitrager you should be proactive. We'll cover how to track and filter in step 6. Pop Ads allows daily budget caps, so you can start with something like $5 to $10 per day spending to test. Propeller Ads, a large ad network offering popunders, push notifications, interstitials, etc. Propeller Ads is user-friendly. You set up a campaign choosing the ad format, select on-click ads for popunders, target countries, devices, etc., and set a CPM bid, cost per 1,000 impressions. Propeller has a certain level of fraud detection and also volume segmentation. They have options like high versus medium quality traffic and some campaign settings. Many arbitragers start with Propeller Ads because it's straightforward and has huge traffic volume across almost every GEO. As noted on a marketing forum, Propeller is a common choice. If I were you, I would start using Propeller Ads with viral or news content. Propeller Ads, popunders, can give good ROI. Just be aware good ROI assumes you optimize content and costs effectively. Other networks, AdsTerra also offers popunders with large volume, but some have reported high pop percentages there if not carefully managed. PopCache is similar to Pop Ads, easy and cheap. It's fine to test multiple networks over time. Each source might perform differently for your niche. Initially, though, focus on one network to avoid too many variables. Setting up your campaign. Here's a general process using Propeller Ads as an example. Pop Ads will be similar with slightly different terminology. Create an account. Sign up on the network site as an advertiser. Add some funds. They often have low minimums, e.g. $100 or less via card/PayPal, sometimes even $25. Treat this as your initial investment in buying traffic. New campaign settings. Choose the Popunder, on-click, format. Give your campaign a name like USA Desktop, Tech Article 1. Select your target URL. This is the page on your site you want to send traffic to first, often one of your most enticing articles, which we'll call the landing page. Geo-targeting. Decide which country, or countries, to target. This is crucial for ROI. Tier 1 countries, US, Canada, UK, etc., have visitors that trigger higher AdSense earnings. Their ads pay more, but the traffic will cost more too. 3 countries, e.g. many in Asia, Africa, are very cheap to buy, but AdSense earnings per visitor there are much lower. A smart approach is to test a few geos separately. For instance, create one campaign for US traffic and another for a cheaper region, say India or Philippines, and compare performance. Initially, you might pick one primary country to focus on, based on where you think you can get a positive return. Example, if your site is in English and your content appeals broadly, trying US traffic is logical, high ad rates. If your content is, say, in Spanish, you could target Spain or Latin American countries. Geo-segmentation means you segment campaigns by geography to optimize each one's settings and bids. Device/platform targeting. Pop networks let you target desktop and/or mobile, and sometimes by OS. Desktop popunders often yield better engagement for arbitrage. Why? A desktop user who gets a popunder might finish what they're doing and later click the Popunder tab, giving your site a chance. Mobile pop-ups can be more intrusive. A mobile user might close it immediately or never switch to the new tab. Additionally, AdSense ads on mobile may not earn as much per impression unless you have a mobile-optimized ad setup. A common strategy is to target desktop only at first for higher chance of engagement. You can create separate campaigns for mobile later if desired, possibly with different landing page designs, e.g. shorter content, more visuals. For now, choose one, say desktop only, to test. You can also exclude certain OS or browsers if needed, but that's advanced. Initially, keep it broad on those. Frequency capping and user filters. Most networks let you cap how often the pop-under is shown to the same user. A good starting cap might be 1/24H, meaning a user will only see your pop once per day at most. This prevents oversaturating people, which can lead to annoyance and zero conversion on repeats. Also, some networks have options like only unique users. You might enable that so you pay only for unique visitors, not the same person multiple times. These settings help ensure you're paying for as many new eyeballs as possible. Bid and budget. Set your daily budget small at first, e.g. $10 or $20. Then set your bid. Propeller ads might give an estimated range for CPM. For example, it might say recommended $1.50 CPM for US desktop. That means $1.50 for 1,000 popunders delivered. You can actually bid lower than the recommendation to test cheaper traffic, though if you bid too low, you may get little to no traffic or only very remnant low-quality traffic. Perhaps start a bit below their suggestion and see if you get impressions. With pop ads, you directly set a max CPM or even a CPC per pop and it will give you traffic as available. Keep an eye on the volume. If you get too few visits, you may need to increase your bid. If you're getting more traffic than you can handle, you can lower the bid to see if you still get enough but cheaper. Traffic quality filters. Some platforms, like Propeller, might let you choose quality tiers or source types. For example, Propeller might have high, direct domains, higher quality, versus medium/low, lower quality sources, traffic checkboxes. If available, you could start with high quality only to gauge results, though it will be pricier. Alternatively, take all traffic and plan to weed out bad sources yourself with tracking, which we'll do in the next step. Important. Many arbitrageurs report that without filtering, pop networks can send bot traffic. For instance, pop ads can have a lot of bot traffic, so make sure you use a tracker to filter out bad sources. So don't assume the network will do it all for you. Be prepared to analyze and block sources. Coming up next, launch, activate the campaign and monitor. The Popunder network dashboard will show impressions and clicks. For popunders, clicks usually means how many times the popunder was actually opened. Since the user doesn't have to click an ad, the metric is a bit different. Essentially, you care about visits to your site, which should equal pop impressions in this case. By completing this step, you now have a stream of visitors coming to your site. It's both exciting and challenging. You might see hundreds or thousands of visits quickly. The key now is to track what those visitors do and how much you earn from them, which leads us to the crucial next step. Step 6. Implement tracking and analytics. To run a profitable arbitrage campaign, you must track two things closely: cost, what you pay for traffic, and revenue, what those visitors earn you via AdSense. Equally important is tracking user behavior, bounce rate, pages per session, etc., so you can optimize. We'll break tracking into a few parts. Use Google Analytics, GA, for user behavior. Install Google Analytics on your site if you haven't already. This will give you data on page views, session duration, bounce rate, geographic distribution, and more, all vital for diagnosing issues with pop traffic. GA can show you, for example, 90% of my popunder visitors left after 5 seconds and saw only one page. If that's the case, engagement is a problem. Set up analytics before driving traffic so you don't miss any data. In GA, you can define segments or look at specific pages. If you send all traffic to one landing page, say /article1.html, you can check that page's metrics specifically. Consider enabling AdSense integration in Google Analytics. GA has a feature to link your AdSense account. This will let you see AdSense revenue and impressions broken down by page and traffic source in GA. For instance, you could see that your popunder traffic, detected maybe as direct or as a referral from the pop network's domain, had an average AdSense revenue per user of $X. This is extremely useful for calculating ROI by traffic source. B. Use AdSense reports for revenue. In your AdSense dashboard, use the reports section to track your earnings. Key metrics to note daily. Page views and ad impressions recorded by AdSense. Clicks and CTR. Though as AdSense shifts to a per impression model in 2024, clicks are still visible but revenue may be more impression weighted. Estimated earnings for the day and ideally broken down by URL or ad unit if you set up custom channels. A handy trick, set up URL channels in AdSense for your major landing pages. For example, if your main landing page is https://yoursite.com/article1, make a URL channel for article1. AdSense will then report earnings specifically from that page. If you run multiple campaigns to different landing pages, this helps pinpoint which pages are earning well. Also monitor RPM, revenue per 1,000 page views, in AdSense's reports, or calculate EPMV, earnings per 1,000 visitors. We want to compare this to our cost per thousand visitors. AdSense page RPM is given by estimated earnings / number of page views, * 1000. Many publishers consider page RPM the clearer metric of how much money am I making per thousand visits. We'll use this when optimizing in the next step. C. Consider a third-party tracker, Advanced. For more advanced tracking, especially to filter out bad traffic sources, you might use an affiliate marketing tracker like Volume, Bmob, RedTrack, or Prosper 202. These tools let you create a tracking URL for your campaign and record each visit, including parameters such as source ID, country, device, etc. Pop networks often pass a token for the traffic source or site that the user came from. For instance, Propeller ads can pass a Zoniad or similar token identifying the publisher site that triggered the Popunder. Why use this? Because you can see which specific sources within the Pop network are sending you traffic that bounces or doesn't monetize. Often, a small number of sources, e.g., certain publisher sites, are bot-heavy or low quality. With a tracker, you could see that source 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sent 500 visits, all 1 second durations, $0 earned. Then you go into the Pop network campaign settings and exclude or blacklist that source ID. Over time, this pruning can dramatically improve the quality of traffic you pay for. In fact, one expert noted, after you filter out bad traffic websites, Pop ads can become a good and cheap traffic source, implying that using a tracker to remove bot sources is the key to success with such traffic. Setting up a tracker is an advanced step and usually involves adding a tracking URL that redirects to your site. If you're not comfortable with that initially, you can rely on GA and manual analysis. Early on, you might simply monitor average session duration and bounce rate in Google Analytics by source. If you see near zero's time on site and 99% bounce, likely a lot of that traffic was non-human or completely uninterested. Some Pop networks also allow you to target by category of source site, like entertainment sites versus file-sharing sites. If you find, say, file-sharing sites send low-quality traffic, you could adjust your campaign settings if the network supports it. D. Track cost versus revenue. Keep a spreadsheet or simple record daily. For each campaign, note how much you spent and how much AdSense revenue came from those visitors, because AdSense reports might lag or continue counting a visitor's revenue even after the day they came. If they browse more pages, try to approximate. For example, day 1, spent $10 on 5,000 visitors is almost equal to $2 CPM. AdSense recorded 5,000 page views from that campaign's page and earned $15. That's an RPM or EPMV of $3 per 1,000 visitors, profitable on a raw basis, 50% ROI. Day 2, spent $10, earned $8, not profitable, maybe due to some bad sources or lower ad rates that day. Logging these helps you identify trends and whether you're nearing that goal of $1,000 per day. $1,000 per day would require, for example, 200K page views at a $5 RPM, or 100K page views at $10 RPM, etc., depending on performance. E. Monitor AdSense for red flags. Check the AdSense Policy Center or any warnings in your AdSense account periodically. If Google detects invalid clicks or traffic, you might see a warning or deduction. It's better to catch issues early than to wake up to an account ban. In analytics, a very high bounce rate and very low time on page are indicators that Google might also see and frown upon. Strive to improve those. Next step. Google explicitly urges caution with third-party traffic services and says publishers are responsible for traffic quality. So, treat your data seriously. If something looks off, adjust your campaigns. By the end of this step, you should have a clear picture each day. I bought X visitors from Y source for $Z, and I earned $W from AdSense. This data-driven approach is what separates successful arbitrage, even at small scale, from blind spending. Now, with data in hand, we proceed to optimize both the site and the campaign to increase profits. Step 7. Optimize landing pages for engagement, reduce bounce rate, and increase session time. One of the biggest challenges with Popunder traffic is user engagement. Many visitors didn't actively seek your site, it just appeared. So they might be inclined to close it quickly. Our job is to grab their attention instantly and encourage them to stay, thereby generating more ad impressions and clicks, and signaling to Google that the traffic is valid. Here's how to optimize your landing pages to achieve that. Compelling headlines and intros. The headline of your article, or the title of the landing page, is critical. It's often the first thing visible. Use a headline that sparks curiosity or promises value without being misleading. For example, instead of a dull title like Car Insurance Tips, you might have 10 car insurance hacks you wish you knew sooner. If someone randomly lands on that, they might think, what hacks, and scroll. The introduction, first few lines, should reinforce the hook, address the user directly, or tease what's coming. Keep it tight. A Popunder visitor will decide in 3 to 5 seconds if they'll stay. Ensure that within those seconds, they understand what interesting info or story they'll get by staying. Avoid clickbait that you can't deliver on, as a forum expert advised. Do not mislead users or use overly sensational bait and switch. That leads to quick bounces and could violate policy. Visual appeal and readability. Walls of text are your enemy. Use images, subheadings, and maybe pull quotes or bolded lines to catch the eye. An image or infographic near the top can stop the reflex to close the tab. Ensure font sizes are readable with a clear contrast, e.g., dark text on white background. If appropriate, embed a relevant video on the page, like a YouTube video explaining or showing something about your topic. Videos can significantly increase time on page. A curious user might click play and suddenly stay for a minute or more, which is great for your session duration metric. And video ads, if any, could also monetize. Just make sure videos are relevant and not autoplaying with sound. That might annoy and cause them to leave. Page speed and ad load. We mentioned site speed, but on the landing page, it's crucial that content loads before ads, or at least that the ads don't slow the appearance of content. If a user sees a blank page or a loading spinner for more than a second or two, they're gone. Use lazy loading for images, so they load as user scrolls, and consider loading ads after content is visible. Some implement lazy load ads. There are plugins for this, or use AdSense's own asynchronous code, which is default. A fast, snappy page keeps people from bouncing due to technical reasons. Clear call to action within content. This isn't a conversion in the traditional sense, but think of it this way. What do you want the user to do on your site? Ideally, click an ad. That's how you earn. But we cannot encourage ad clicks directly. That's against AdSense policy. Instead, we encourage them to explore content. So, include a call to action like internal links in your article text, e.g., if you're enjoying these tips, you might also like our guide on saving money on home insurance, with a link to that other article. Or at the end, like the story, check out related posts below for more interesting reads. Explicitly invite them to engage further. Some arbitrage sites even use JavaScript pop-ups or modals like "you might like this next," but use these carefully. Any interstitial must not violate AdSense policies or annoy users excessively. A gentle prompt is fine. Related content widgets, as mentioned, have a related posts section with thumbnails at the bottom. Services like Outbrain/Taboola, if you use them for extra monetization, also serve as related content feeds, but you can also custom curate, e.g., more in your niche, listing 3 to 5 interesting article titles that likely appeal to the same user. If someone came for 10 insurance hacks, they might also be intrigued by 5 little-known car buying tricks or how one family saved $500 on insurance. Position these prominently once the user is done reading the main content or even midway. Some sites insert a mid-article also read. Link, slideshow or multi-page content. Advanced Some successful arbitrage sites use slideshows or pagination, e.g., a top 10 list split into 10 pages or a gallery that requires clicking next to view each item. This can drastically boost page views per visitor. Each click is a new page with new ads. However, use this strategy carefully. If done poorly, it can look spammy and annoy users. If done well, fast transitions, genuine value on each slide, it can increase your RPM. For beginners, you might try a simple 2 to 3 page pagination first, e.g., split a long article into 2 pages, continue to next page link in the middle. See if users click it. Note, Google does allow pagination in multiple page articles, but ensure each page has sufficient content and not just forcing ad loads. And don't put so many ads that clicking next triggers accidental ad clicks. The user experience must remain decent. Interactive elements, even something like a quick quiz or poll embedded in the content, can engage a Popunder visitor. For example, a trivia question or a "what do you think" poll related to the article gives them a reason to interact, and once they interact, they're more likely to stick around. If you find bounce rates high, testing an interactive widget could be an advanced solution. Reduce intrusive elements. It might sound counterintuitive, but be careful with things like newsletter pop-ups or too many ads above the fold. If a newsletter sign-up pops up immediately when a Popunder visitor arrives, that's 2 annoyances in a row. Likely they will close everything. Consider disabling any entry pop-ups for these landing pages. Let the user absorb content first. Also, if your page starts with an AdSense ad at the very top and little content visible, the visitor might feel it's an ad page and bounce. It's often better to start with a compelling headline/image and maybe place the first ad slot a bit down, like after first or second paragraph, so that the initial screen looks like content, not a billboard. This can help reduce instantaneous bounces. Remember, Google tracks user engagement too. If they see users pogo sticking, instant leave, en masse, it could raise concerns of invalid traffic. One community expert in the AdSense forum noted that traffic that costs just a few dollars per thousand, typical of Popunders, is very likely to be considered invalid if those users don't engage. So these optimization steps aren't just for earnings, but for compliance survival. Key metrics to watch. Bounce rate. Aim to improve it from, say, 90% down to 70% or less over time. Pages/session. Try to get above 1.0, even 1.2 or 1.5 average is great because it means a significant chunk click to a second page. An average session duration. If you can get it from a few seconds up to 30+ seconds or more, you're on the right track. Small improvements here make huge differences in revenue. For instance, a user that views 2 pages will likely see 2-3x the ads of a single page viewer, potentially doubling your AdSense earnings per visitor. In summary, treat your landing page like the first 5 minutes of a movie. It has to captivate the audience, or they walk out. By reducing bounce and increasing engagement, you set the stage for higher revenue and a healthier arbitrage campaign. Step 8. Focus on RPM and ad revenue optimization. With traffic flowing and engagement improving, the next lever for profit is AdSense revenue optimization, squeezing out the highest RPM, revenue per thousand impressions, or EPMV, earnings per thousand visitors, possible from your site. The higher your RPM, the more you earn per visitor, which means you can afford to buy more traffic and still profit. Here's how to boost your RPM. Optimize ad layout and formats. Experiment with different ad placements and formats on your pages to see what yields the best results without hurting user experience. Some tips. Above the fold ad. Having at least one ad visible without scrolling can increase impressions, since many Popunder visitors might not scroll. A responsive banner below your page title or a medium rectangle in the top right corner of the content area are common placements, but ensure it doesn't push all content down or look like the page is only ads. In-content ads, ads inserted mid-article, after a few paragraphs or between list items, often perform well because they catch the eye during engagement. These typically get higher viewability. Important now that AdSense is pay per impression, an ad needs to be actually viewed to count. Bottom of page ad, an ad at the end of the article can capture those who read through. Also, AdSense offers anchor ads, a sticky ad at screen bottom on mobile, if you use auto ads, which can lift revenue on mobile significantly without needing manual placement. Auto ads versus manual. Google AdSense has an auto ads feature that uses machine learning to place ads for you. It can try various positions. Some arbitrageurs test auto ads to see if Google finds better spots. However, auto ads might insert too many ads or awkward placements sometimes, which could harm user experience. Ad formats. Try various sizes. Responsive ads are easiest. They adjust size to container. For desktop, common high-performing sizes include 300 by 250, 336 by 280, 728 by 90, and 300 by 600 for sidebars. For mobile, responsive usually gives a 320 by 100 or similar. Also consider enabling native in-article ads, an AdSense format that blends in and can have higher viewability. These often pay on a CPM basis and can increase overall RPM even if CTR is lower. Ad density caution. As stressed before, don't overload with ads. You want each page to have maybe 3 to 5 AdSense ad units visible. More than that usually doesn't increase earnings proportionally and can trigger Google's low content warning. Sometimes fewer ads can even earn more, because each ad gets more focus. Advertisers' bids might concentrate on fewer slots, leading to higher CPM on those. So optimize, but stay moderate. High-value content and keywords. Increasing RPM isn't just placement, content plays a role. If you can incorporate some high-paying keywords in your articles, naturally and relevantly, you may attract higher-paying ads. For example, an article about how to refinance a mortgage will likely get ads for loans, which pay more than an article about funny cat pictures. Now, you might not be in a finance niche, but consider occasional content that overlaps with high-value verticals if it fits your site. A travel blog could write about travel insurance ads pay well, or a tech site could cover best web hosting providers, tech ads with high CPC. These pieces can boost your average RPM. However, balance this with the need for the content to still appeal to your Popunder audience. A pure finance article might not engage a broad audience from pop traffic unless framed in a catchy way. Geo-target high RPM regions. We touched on geo-segmentation. If you find, for instance, that US traffic yields an RPM of $8 but costs $5 per 1,000, net $3 profit per 1,000 visitors, and Indian traffic yields an RPM of $1 but costs 50 cents per 1,000, net 50 cents profit per 1,000, you might want to scale the US campaign more aggressively. Often, arbitrageurs end up focusing on a handful of geos where the earnings-cost equation is most favorable. It might even be negative in some geos, meaning you lose money on those. Don't be afraid to pause campaigns for countries that are profitable and allocate budget to those that are. Monitor RPM by country using AdSense's breakdown or analytics. Advanced tip: if you have a multi-geo campaign, segment it. For example, Propeller might allow you to target multiple countries in one go, but it's better to have separate campaigns per country, or per region/tier, so you can adjust bids and budgets individually. Incorporate other monetization. Monetization stacking. While AdSense is primary, stacking monetization can raise total RPM. We will cover this more in step 9, but as a quick note, adding a native ad widget, like Taboola Outbrain/MGID, at the end of content might add, say, an extra 50 cents per 1,000 page views to your earnings with minimal impact on user experience. Similarly, enabling push notification opt-in and later sending push ads can earn extra. These additional earnings effectively raise your revenue per visitor, meaning you can bid more for traffic while still profiting. For instance, a site might have a $5 AdSense RPM and then earn another $2 RPM from Taboola widgets and push ads combined, making total $7 per 1,000 views. That lets you outbid competitors who rely on AdSense alone. Ensure any additional ads comply with AdSense policies, though most native ads are fine to run alongside AdSense, and Google explicitly allows other networks as long as they don't mimic Google Ads. Monitor AdSense ad rates trends. Keep an eye on the ad industry changes. For example, as of 2024, Google shifted AdSense fully to a pay-per impression (CPM) model instead of pay-per-click. This means your focus should be on maximizing viewable impressions. It's no longer just about getting a click. Every ad seen is earning you money. So, improving viewability, how many of the served ads were actually viewed by users, directly boosts revenue. This can involve tactics like moving ads into viewable areas, as discussed, in content, etc. Using sticky ads, AdSense's anchor ads, or a sticky sidebar ad if your layout allows. Avoiding placements that users never scroll to, e.g., an ad at the very bottom of a long article that few reach. Either make the article shorter or place that ad higher up. A/B test when possible. If you have enough traffic, try A/B testing different layouts. For instance, for a week, use layout A, 3 ads, top, middle, bottom. Next week, try layout B, 2 ads, 1 top, 1 bottom, maybe bigger sizes. Compare the RPMs and user metrics. AdSense performance can fluctuate daily, so gather enough data. This testing can reveal surprising insights. Sometimes a less aggressive ad layout yields only slightly lower revenue per user but keeps them more engaged, so they visit more pages, offsetting the difference. Or vice versa, maybe one more ad unit dramatically increases revenue without harming engagement. Always keep an eye on that delicate balance. Example of RPM calculation. Suppose on day 3 you had 10,000 page views from arbitrage traffic and earned $50 from AdSense. Your page RPM is $50/10,000, asterisk 1,000 equals $5. If your traffic cost was $30, you made $20 profit. If you can optimize RPM to $7 with the same traffic cost, earnings would be $70, profit $40, doubling your profit. Optimizing RPM is thus a powerful lever. Techniques above, combined with the engagement optimization from step 7, will gradually push your RPM upward. To conclude this step, continuously refine your ad setup to raise your earnings per visitor. A well-optimized arbitrage site can often achieve RPMs that make even cheap traffic very lucrative. Keep in mind, though, user experience and compliance should never be sacrificed for a slight bump in RPM. A banned AdSense account earns $0 RPM. So optimize within the boundaries of good UX and Google's rules. Step 9. Monetization stacking. Add extra revenue streams. Don't rely solely on AdSense if you want to maximize earnings. Monetization stacking means adding additional monetization methods alongside AdSense to increase the total revenue per visitor. This can significantly boost your arbitrage profits when done correctly and compliant with Google policies. Here are some ways to stack monetization. Native ad widgets, content recommendation networks like Taboola, Outbrain, RevContent, MGID, AdsKeeper, etc. provide those around-the-web content recommendation boxes often seen under articles. They typically pay on a CPM or CPC basis and can run alongside AdSense. Many arbitrage publishers include a native widget at the bottom of their pages for an extra lift. For example, RevContent notes that you can even earn revenue via its widgets alongside AdSense. Once your traffic volume is decent, some require a few thousand visits per day to approve you can apply to these networks. A well-placed native ad widget might add 20 cents to $1 per 1,000 page views in earnings, depending on geo and widget performance. It's essentially free money since that space was previously unused or just your related posts. You can integrate related posts with a sponsored widget too. Ensure the native ads are clearly labeled. They usually come labeled as sponsored or promoted stories, to avoid confusing users or violating AdSense's policies on deceptive content. Properly labeled, AdSense allows them. Push notification monetization. You can prompt users to subscribe to web push notifications. While a cold Popunder visitor may be less likely to subscribe, if your content is engaging or offers something, allow notifications to get more trending stories. You will collect some subscribers over time. Services like OneSignal, for collection, and networks like Propeller, push notifications, ISO or Evidav allow you to send push notifications that carry ads. Alternatively, you can send your own push notifications linking back to your site, generating essentially free return traffic, which can then see ads again. Push monetization might not be huge, but again, it's additive. One could earn a few extra dollars per 1,000 visitors on average by periodically sending push ad campaigns to subscribers. Just be careful not to spam and to acquire subscribers in a user-friendly way. Explain the benefit of subscribing. Affiliate links/CPA offers. Depending on your niche, you might incorporate affiliate marketing. For example, an arbitrage site about gadgets could include Amazon affiliate links to products mentioned. Or a finance blog could link to an insurance quote form, CPA offer, that pays per lead. This can be tricky with pop traffic because conversions might be low, but if done subtly, like a text link within relevant content, not a spammy banner, it can add a trickle of income. Make sure any affiliate offers are relevant and do not violate AdSense policies. Most are fine, but e.g., Google wouldn't allow a sneaky download ad or something that looks like part of AdSense. A case in point, some publishers team paid traffic with an affiliate marketing strategy to see significant profits in addition to ad revenue. Additional ad networks or mediators. Beyond native, you could use display ad mediators like Ezoic or Mediavine once your traffic grows. Ezoic, for instance, can work with arbitrage and might yield higher overall EPMV by connecting to multiple ad networks, including AdSense, AdX, etc. However, integrating these can require giving them control of ad placements, and it complicates tracking. For beginners, it might be best to stick to AdSense plus one or two simple additions, native widget, etc. But as you scale, say you're hitting $100 plus per day consistently, exploring such platforms could increase revenue and provide built-in optimization tools. Email capture. As a long-term play, consider capturing emails through a newsletter sign-up. Maybe offer a free ebook or weekly best articles newsletter. Email marketing can eventually be another channel to bring visitors back for free or promote offers. It's not direct monetization, but it's building an asset. If a portion of your Popunder traffic signs up, you've essentially converted paid traffic into an owned audience segment. Monetization stacking in practice. Imagine you have AdSense yielding a $5 RPM. By adding a Taboola widget, you get 50 cents RPM extra, and push notification ads bring 20 cents RPM, plus the odd affiliate referral adds 30 cents. Your total might become $6 per 1,000 views, a 20% increase in revenue without needing more visitors. That could be the difference between breaking even and making a profit at scale. This approach is common. Publishers often monetize with multiple methods. Google AdSense explicitly states you are welcome to use other ad networks or promotions alongside AdSense as long as they don't violate policies. So diversification is not only allowed, but wise for revenue resilience. When implementing these, integrate them gradually. Measure if the added element affects user behavior or AdSense revenue. For example, if a native widget is too eye-catching, does it reduce AdSense clicks significantly? Ideally, it mostly occupies otherwise unused attention. Optimize placement of these elements too, e.g., one native ad row below your content might perform better than two rows. In summary, monetization stacking lets you stack up earnings from multiple sources on the same traffic. It's a strategy used by advanced arbitrageurs to maximize ROI. Just keep the site looking clean, don't turn it into an ad circus, and ensure compliance with all networks' policies. Done right, it boosts your income and moves you faster toward that $1,000 per day goal. Step 10. Ensuring compliance and avoiding AdSense bans. No arbitrage strategy is worth anything if your AdSense account gets banned. Google's policies must be respected at all times. In arbitrage, buying traffic for AdSense walks a fine line that you need to manage carefully. Here are critical tips to stay compliant and avoid issues. Traffic quality and validity. This is the #1 concern. As Google says, you're ultimately responsible for the traffic to your ads. If they detect a large amount of bot or non-human traffic causing ad impressions or, worse, clicks, they will suspend your account. Popunder traffic inherently includes some junk. We addressed using trackers to filter bots. Make that a routine. Continuously monitor for and exclude sources of invalid traffic. Signs include extremely short visit durations, 100% bounce, weird traffic patterns, like a burst of hundreds of hits all with the same behavior. Use Google's own bot reports or analytics filtering as well. Some publishers even choose to use services or scripts that detect headless browsers or known bot signatures and auto-redirect or block them from loading AdSense ads. Advanced, but it's an option. Avoid incentivized/forced clicks. Never encourage users to click ads. Don't use phrases like "click on our sponsors" or any arrows/images pointing to ads. Also, be careful with site design elements that could cause accidental clicks. For example, if you have a next page button, don't place an ad immediately next to it where a user might tap the ad by mistake. Google's algorithms notice abnormally high CTR or user rage click patterns and could interpret it as a policy violation. Design with clear separation between content navigation and ad units. Maintain content value. As stressed, do not let your site become a thing made for AdSense site. Keep publishing and refreshing quality content. Google's reviewers or algorithms can periodically check your site. If at some point they determine it's providing no user value, just clickbait pages filled with ads, they may disable ad serving. On BHW and other forums, many who got banned confessed they used auto-generated content or too many ads, mistakes you are avoiding by following this guide. Continually ask, does my site offer something to a user? If you can answer yes, interesting info, useful tips, entertaining galleries, etc., you're on safer ground. Ad placement policies. Ensure your ad implementations follow Google's ad placement policies. A quick checklist. No ads and floating boxes that users must close. Google doesn't allow obscuring content with ads in a way that users might accidentally click. On mobile, avoid placing ads in a sticky manner that could be mistaken for content, except Google's own anchor ads. Don't stack ads too close to each other or to interactive elements, links, buttons. If using any auto-refresh of content, do not auto-refresh ads. Some try to auto-reload pages to get new ads. Google considers that invalid. Keep the number of ads reasonable, 3 to 5 per page max, as noted. Source transparency. Google may check from where your traffic is coming. Buying traffic isn't illegal or against terms per se. Google even says you're welcome to promote your site, as long as it's in line with their program policies. What violates policy is fake traffic or methods like click farms. Popunder networks are a gray area. While many publishers use them, some Google support answers suggest that if the traffic is very low quality, it might be flagged. To be safe, diversify traffic sources when possible, e.g., maybe also run a small Facebook campaign or have some organic traffic, so that 100% of your traffic isn't from a known pop network. This isn't always feasible starting out, but long-term having a mix looks more natural. Monitor AdSense messages. If Google has an issue, sometimes they will issue a policy violation warning in your AdSense account, giving you a chance to fix something, or an email. Always address these immediately. For example, if they say ads on page X violate policy Y, fix it, remove the ad, change content, etc., and request a review if needed. Stay updated on policies. AdSense policies can change. In early 2024, for instance, Google changed its revenue model to CPM and adjusted revenue share rules. Publishers now get 80% after advertiser fees, roughly same as 68% before. These changes don't require action, but keep an ear out for policy updates. A major one relevant to arbitrage, Google's contempt for misleading content and non-contextual user journeys. This means your ad creative, if using something like Taboola or Facebook ads to get traffic, must align with your landing page content. It also means avoid deceptive practices like false news or shocking thumbnails that have nothing to do with your article. Those might get high clicks but lead to bounces and potential policy issues. FB/Google Ads Arbitrage Caution. Though this guide is on Popunders, some try using Google Ads or Facebook ads to drive traffic to AdSense. Be warned, Google Ads explicitly forbids arbitraging AdSense. They don't want you using their ad system to promote pages just to get AdSense clicks. Facebook is a bit more tolerant but has cracked down on low-quality arbitrage as well. That's why many turn to native or pop sources. If you ever expand to such sources, ensure compliance with their policies too. Facebook, for example, doesn't like overly sensational or celebrity-bait content solely for arbitrage. The general principle, quality and transparency protect you across platforms. Plan for the worst, back up despite best efforts. There's always a non-zero risk in arbitrage that AdSense could disable your account, perhaps due to something beyond your control like a sudden surge of invalid traffic. It's wise to have a contingency plan. Perhaps an alternative monetization like AdX via Partner, Media.net, Yahoo/Bing Ads, or other display networks you can switch to if needed. They may not pay as well as AdSense, but having them in mind provides peace of mind. However, never run them concurrently in a way that violates AdSense. Most allow concurrent ads, but AdSense shouldn't be on the same page as any ad that mimics Google Ads. A safe approach, separate fallback pages or quickly toggling to a backup ad network if an issue arises. In essence, treat Google as a partner. If you provide genuine content and genuine users, they're happy to share ad revenue with you. The minute it looks like you're trying to game the system, cheap fake traffic, misleading tricks, they will protect advertisers by shutting you down. Many arbitrageurs operate successfully for years by staying within the rules and keeping metrics healthy. In fact, Google explicitly states AdSense arbitrage is not illegal. You are welcome to buy traffic. Just do it smartly and cautiously. Following the steps in this guide for quality content, engagement, and careful tracking will put you on the right side of that line. Now, with compliance in check, let's talk about growing this operation big. Step 11. Long-term scaling strategies. Scaling from a modest daily profit to $1,000 per day and beyond requires a strategic approach. You've set up the basics and optimized for engagement and RPM. Scaling is about expanding what works while maintaining performance. Here's how to scale your AdSense arbitrage business in the long run. Gradual traffic increase. It's tempting to go from $50 per day spend to $500 per day overnight when you see positive ROI. But jump too fast and two things can break your optimization and Google's trust. Scale incrementally. For example, increase your Popunder campaign budgets by 20 to 30% every few days, rather than 10x in one go. This way you have time to ensure the new traffic is still converting well. Sometimes, buying more volume means tapping into slightly lower quality inventory, which can reduce ROI if not monitored. Also, sudden spikes of traffic might attract Google's anti-fraud algorithms if the engagement isn't there. Growing steadily looks more natural and allows continuous learning and adjustment. Replicate and diversify campaigns. Once you find a formula that works, say, a particular article plus country plus device combo yields profit, replicate it. Create more campaigns for other geos or create new landing pages, articles, using the same style. Essentially, templatize success. If 10 tech hacks did well with US desktop, try 10 finance hacks for US desktop, or 10 tech hacks for UK desktop, etc. Each new campaign is an additional revenue stream. Many arbitrageurs build out dozens of campaigns targeting different regions and topics, all feeding the same site or multiple sites. This diversification also protects your business. If one traffic source dries up or one campaign dips, others keep you afloat. Build multiple sites, optional over time. You might create additional websites in different niches to diversify risk and reach new audiences. Some arbitrageurs run a portfolio of sites, e.g., one in tech, one in lifestyle, one in finance. This can help because each site can specialize in content that appeals to certain geos or traffic sources. However, managing multiple sites is a lot of work. Only expand when you have the capacity. Maybe you'll reinvest profits to outsource content writing, site management, etc. Even with multiple sites, keep quality high on each. Reinvest profits wisely. A portion of your profits should go back into the business for growth. This could mean increasing ad spend, but also consider investing in better content. Maybe hire freelance writers to produce more articles or higher quality stories that might engage. Better tools, a premium tracker, a heat map tool to see how users interact on your site, etc., or site improvements, perhaps custom features to engage users. Also, if you haven't already, invest in professional level hosting as you scale. Nothing kills arbitrage profit faster than your site crashing when you suddenly have 50K visitors in an hour. Leverage analytics for trends. As your data grows, dive deeper. Look at trends. What days of week yield best RPM? Ad rates can be higher midweek than weekends often. Which content categories on your site get the longest stays? Use this info to guide future content creation and campaign scheduling. For instance, if you notice entertainment content does well on weekends, you could ramp up those campaigns on Fridays, Sundays, and focus more on serious content on weekdays, etc. SEO and organic growth. While arbitrage is about paid traffic, don't completely ignore SEO. By consistently posting quality content, your site might start ranking for long-tail keywords, bringing in some organic visitors. These are free and often engage better, raising your averages. You can also use tools to find if any of your arbitrage content could be tweaked to target certain search queries. Some arbitrageurs have successfully parlayed their sites into sizable organic traffic sites over time, essentially getting a 2-for-1. They paid to grow initially, then the content brought in free users later. Even a few thousand organic visits a day can add to your revenue without cost. Explore other traffic sources. Once Popunders are going well, you can test native ads, Taboola/Outbrain, etc., or social ads, Facebook, Twitter, etc., to drive traffic. Native ads can bring somewhat higher quality traffic. People clicking are genuinely interested in the story teaser, but cost more per click. The arbitrage math is the same. Ensure what you pay less than what you earn per visitor. In fact, some experts categorize arbitrage traffic sources by tiers, e.g., native ads are second tier with good quality, while Popunders are third tier with cheap massive volume. By trying higher tier sources later, you might find additional scale, especially if Popunder traffic quality plateaus. Just remember that each source has its own learning curve and policies. For example, Taboola might disapprove very clickbaity content or require a certain ad quality. Enhance brand and trust. In long-term scaling, consider building a brand identity for your site. It might sound unnecessary for arbitrage, but having a brand can improve user trust, which improves engagement. For example, if your site starts getting known for useful hacks or reliable info, repeat visitors might bookmark it or not instantly bounce when they recognize it. You could even cultivate social media pages for your site where you occasionally share content, getting some free traffic. A loyal following is rare in arbitrage, since focus is on paid funnel, but any steps towards brand legitimacy can pay dividends. Also, advertisers through AdSense might bid higher on sites that develop a better user profile. Google rewards sites with good user metrics over time by possibly giving them better paying ads due to better performance. Keep an eye on ROI at scale as you approach higher spend levels, hundreds per day. Always keep a tight grip on ROI calculations. Sometimes, scaling introduces inefficiencies. Maybe you saturate your best audiences and the marginal traffic has lower RPM. It's not uncommon to see ROI percentages drop when scaling up. That's okay if profit in absolute terms is growing, but avoid scaling into losing territory. If you see that at $300 per day spend your cost equals revenue, no profit, you either need to optimize further before going higher, or reconsider if that's the cap for current conditions. Scaling is not just about volume, but scaling profitably. Case study, hypothetical scaling. Let's illustrate scaling with an example. Suppose after a couple months, you have 3 campaigns running, US desktop, UK desktop, India desktop, each to different oracles. Combined, they bring 50K visits/day and an average RPM of $5. That's $250 per day revenue. Traffic cost is $150, so profit $100 per day. To scale to $1,000 per day revenue, you could A. Add more campaigns, maybe add Canada, Australia, etc., and 2 to 3 new viral articles. B. Increase volume on existing ones, raise budget/bids to get 100K visits/day. And C. Improve RPM further, monetization stacking, etc., aiming for maybe $6 average RPM. After adding and tweaking, you might reach 100K visits/day at $6 RPM equals $600 per day, with cost $300, profit $300. Continue scaling content and sources. Perhaps at some point you run 10 plus campaigns delivering 200K visits/day at $5 RPM average equals $1,000 per day, costing $700, profit $300 per day. Or if you really optimize, 200K at $6 RPM equals $1,200 per day on $700 cost, over $500 profit. This shows you might not have one $1,000 profit on $1,000 revenue. ROI margins often shrink a bit, but even a few hundred profit daily is great. The key is managing more campaigns and keeping each profitable or at least break even, with some yielding high returns to cover others. Team and outsourcing. As you reach large scale, consider outsourcing parts of the process. Content writing, for instance, can be outsourced to freelancers or a content agency to keep a steady flow of fresh articles while you focus on campaign optimization. You might hire a virtual assistant to help with data analysis or moderation of user comments, if your site allows comments. Building a small team can free you to think about strategy and expansion rather than day-to-day grunt work. Finally, stay patient and persistent. Scaling to $1,000 per day is a marathon, not a sprint. You will likely encounter roadblocks, a sudden drop in AdSense CPCs, a campaign that tanks, an account review scare, but by systematically testing and expanding, you can overcome these. Many have done it before, and with the deeply researched strategies outlined here, you have a roadmap to join those ranks. Keep learning from each experiment and doubling down on what works. Conclusion and key takeaways. Building a profitable AdSense arbitrage business with Popunder traffic is absolutely possible in 2025. But it requires the right mix of strategy, optimization, and compliance. We started from scratch, covering every step from choosing a niche and setting up a site, to driving cheap traffic and converting it into ad revenue effectively. To recap the crucial points, content is foundational, even for arbitrage. Invest in quality content and a user-friendly site. It not only helps with AdSense approval but keeps visitors engaged. A site with real value can survive and thrive, whereas a low-quality MFA site will quickly run into problems. Popunder traffic can yield great ROI if optimized. Networks like Pop Ads and Propeller Ads provide massive traffic at low cost. We leverage that volume but acknowledge the quality challenges. By tracking every visit and weeding out bot/uninterested traffic, and by crafting landing pages that hook users, we turn cheap clicks into real ad impressions and earnings. Engagement and RPM are your lifeblood. Reducing bounce rate and increasing page views per visitor dramatically boosts earnings. We implemented techniques to achieve this: compelling headlines, fast loading pages, related content links, and more. Simultaneously, optimizing ad placements and adding extra monetization lifted our RPM so each visitor is more lucrative. It's the combination of more pages viewed and higher earnings per page that creates a successful arbitrage formula. Compliance isn't optional, it's mandatory. We emphasize throughout how to stay on Google's good side, avoiding invalid traffic, not overloading on ads, and genuinely delivering what you promise to users. Arbitrage done right is not about tricking Google. It's about running a savvy publishing business where you buy traffic at one rate and sell it, via ad impressions, at a higher rate, all within policy. Google AdSense arbitrage is explicitly allowed as long as you follow program policies, and many publishers do it successfully by respecting those rules. Scaling is an iterative process. We laid out how to grow from small beginnings to large daily revenues. The path involves reinvestment, launching multiple campaigns, and possibly expanding into new niches or traffic sources, all while keeping ROI positive. It's about working smarter with data, doubling down on what yields profit and cutting what doesn't, to reach your income goals. Case studies and examples recap. We wove in examples like targeting viral content for Tier 1 countries to achieve ROI, filtering Pop Ads traffic to remove bots, and publishers combining AdSense with native ads for extra revenue. These illustrate that real people have navigated this journey. E.g., a Black Hat World member mentioned providing 30K Tier 1 visitors daily and using arbitrage as a solid income source. Others have shared methods to make hundreds per day by buying Facebook or native ads and monetizing via AdSense, showing that arbitrage can work across traffic platforms when the math is right. By learning from these insights and the detailed steps above, you are equipped to build your own case study of success. Final thought: approach AdSense arbitrage as a real business. That means continuously learning and adapting. The digital ad landscape can change, policies update, ad prices fluctuate, but the core idea remains: buy low, sell high, and do it in a way that keeps everyone happy: users, advertisers, and the platforms. If you focus on providing a good experience for the users you're acquiring, even if they came via Popunder, the advertisers will see good engagement, Google will reward you, and your profits will grow. We've covered a lot of ground in this guide. Use it as a blueprint, but also be ready to experiment and refine as you put it into action. With patience and effort, you can go from $0 to $1,000 per day in arbitrage revenue, building a sustainable and scalable online business in the process. Good luck, and may your RPMs be ever in your favor. Key takeaway summary: niche and content. Choose niches with high ad payout potential but present content in an engaging, viral-friendly way. Publish original content consistently. Site setup. Use a fast, user-centric site design. Ensure mobile optimization, clear navigation, and a healthy content-to-ad ratio. Aim for 3 to 5 ads/page max. Popunder traffic. Start with reputable pop networks, propeller ads, pop ads, etc. Target by geo/device. Start with small budgets and test. Use frequency caps and monitor for bot traffic. These sources can deliver extremely cheap CPMs, enabling arbitrage ROI if managed well. Tracking and optimization. Implement Google Analytics and possibly third-party trackers to measure bounce rates, session times, and source quality. Continuously cull poor quality traffic sources. Optimize landing pages with strong headlines, visuals, and internal links to boost engagement metrics, lower bounce, higher pages/session. Ad and RPM strategies. Experiment with ad placements for maximum viewability and CTR without hurting UX. Calculate page RPM and always aim to raise it through better placements, additional ad networks, or higher paying content. Stack monetization, native ads, push, affiliates, to increase total earnings per visitor. Policy compliance. Never violate AdSense policies, avoid fake clicks, excessive ads, or deceptive content. Monitor traffic quality closely. Ensure your paid traffic is human and interested to the best of your ability. Provide real value on your pages to avoid the MFA label. Scaling up. Increase traffic gradually and replicate successful campaigns to new geos and content. Reinvest profits into more content and possibly better tools. Diversify traffic sources over time, native, social, while keeping ROI positive. Build multiple revenue streams and even multiple sites to reach higher income levels and protect your business. By following these steps and tips, you set yourself up with a realistic, sustainable arbitrage operation. This guide gave you both the big picture strategy and the nitty-gritty tactics. Use both, and you'll be well on your way to that $1,000 per day mark in a compliant and professional manner. Now, it's time to execute and turn these insights into action. Happy arbitraging!